Yeah.
One thing I was going to say, where was it? It was...
We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome to Business Time, the show that captures the journey of two guys trying to thrive in business.
I'd obviously try and thrive in podcasting too, by the sound of that.
So I'm Michael.
And I'm Joel.
So last episode we talked a little bit about my journey and how I started business. So this week I guess we're going to be interviewing you, Joel. How are you feeling, man?
Feeling good. I feel like I talk about myself for a while, so I hope you guys have blocked out the next hour and a half.
So why don't we start off with tell us a little bit about how you started all this, man.
So I'll go back a little bit earlier than that. It's I grew up in Waikato, was born in Hamilton. I was in a family of 6, so I'm the oldest. I've got 3 younger siblings, a brother and 2 sisters. I was quite fortunate. Mum and Dad had a business growing up, and so they sold these digital recorders, and they ran that business for well over 10 years. And but what was really awesome is they involved all of us kids in like the business decisions and the stuff that they were making, and kind of trying to teach us along the way. Like, when it comes to like, is this a good decision to invest in this? Like they involved us in a lot of those conversations.
Wow.
And I was really thankful for that.
So had they made the decision and then they were just letting you know why they made the decision, or were they actually consulting you and what's your thoughts? Like,
they kind of just had us there almost, we're just there in the room, just listening to them talk it out.
Right.
Very interesting hearing a married couple run a business together and try and talk out decisions, and just being there as like a fly on the wall. But it was really cool. Like, it just taught us how to make good decisions in life even.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so outside of that, I went between getting homeschooled and going to normal public school as well throughout life. Never finished high school. Never finished year 10 or I think 4th form.
High school dropout. Oh,
Pretty
my
much.
Goodness, can't believe I'm hanging out with a delinquent.
So I never finished high school, and of course that means it was going to be a struggle for me to get into uni.
Right.
And I wasn't really that keen, to be honest, on uni anyways. But we can get more around that later on. But that's kind of a bit about me and my family.
Cool. I mean, you kind of already touched on it, but tell us your influences of starting business and whatnot.
Yeah, so like I said, there's definitely my parents. A lot of our family friends as well have started businesses and are kind of entrepreneurial and kind of, almost forerunners. Like, they just like starting things.
Yeah.
And so it was cool to be around people like that. I think as well, it's real funny. I've got this story here that I was going to talk about, which is like in primary school, I've always known I want to do business.
Yeah.
So I started this toy company, and I was really into gaming as well. So we would draw designs for like weapons for games, and we would dream up toy ideas. And this is in probably like year 3, year 4 of school. And so I started this New Zealand toy company, was the name. And I got all of my mates to join, and they had to pay $2 to join.
Okay.
And I probably made about maybe $16 or something like that. And I've still got the money today. It's apparently somewhere in the garage. So,
oh, that's awesome.
I think at that moment, I'm like, if I can create a vision and sell it to someone, I think I'm meant to do business.
Nice. You're in it. You're a true salesman.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, and then tell us about the motivation of starting your current business then.
Yeah, so motivation of starting my current business is I don't know, I get so frustrated when I feel like there's a cap or there's a ceiling on me. I noticed this before, like when I was working in another company, is you're like, I couldn't generate new sales, I couldn't create more work if there was nothing or not really too much to do. I couldn't do anything about it. It was really frustrating me.
Was this at your previous job or something?
Yes.
Like that? Yeah, right. Well, I guess tell us a little bit about your history before going into this then.
Yeah. So probably from like maybe 13, 14, I was doing freelancing and building websites for people.
At 13, 14?
Yep. I was homeschooled. I was making some money on the side. Mum and Dad helped me get an iMac. which kind of, looking back, pretty much set me up for what I'm doing today, which is pretty awesome. And so I did that for a while, and then moving up to Auckland when I was 18, the family moved up, and I kind of joined them a year later. You realise how good home is.
Yeah, I didn't move out until 26, so it was my girlfriend, my current wife, kind of they said, "No, it's time to move out, man."
So yeah, came back home and then come out to Auckland, got a full-time job working in a website agency, and yeah.
Limiting.
It was. I don't know. It's difficult. I think in the role that I was in, right, I was a web designer, so I couldn't go and generate more leads. But it wasn't necessarily limiting. Like my boss, Jason, I'm extremely thankful for. I have a lot of honor and respect for him. He allowed me to actually kind of slowly go into my own business, and so almost without him too, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I'll probably touch more on that later on. But yeah, so I worked for this website agency and was at Fuel for I think almost 6 years.
Yeah, and now moved into what, the marketing? Marketing, website design. Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, so going from doing websites, I just got frustrated with seeing some people, you design something beautiful for them, you design a great website, you put your heart and soul into it, and then they'll give you this copy to go on the website, and it was just straight ass. It was awful. And I just was like, oh, this is so disheartening. I know my design's good, but like the words and the stuff that you're doing, it's not going to resonate with people. But at the time, I didn't have the tools to do anything about it. And I don't have a marketing degree. I've never been to uni. And so I was like, cool, I need to make this shift into marketing. And then it was really, how am I going to do that? So how am I going to get this knowledge? I don't want to spend 3 years. I just want to get it a lot faster than that. And so that's when I just started moving to my own business. I discovered the StoryBrand tool that Donald Miller created and something I'm certified in.
That's actually how we met, really, because I was reading Donald Miller's StoryBrand book and also Marketing Made Simple, and Joel was on that website, as a coach for the StoryBrand, and that's how I reached out to him, and that's how we're working together now.
Yeah,
that's quite funny, actually. Cool. Sorry.
So, no, it's all right. So a lot of my business journey, I can turn back to that moment when I got certified, and that was really cool. It cost about as much as uni.
Yes,
to be honest,
right,
but I got certified and got most of the skills that I needed in 4 days over in the States.
So I don't know, for everyone that doesn't know what StoryBrand is, could you tell us a little bit about that whole process, what that means?
Yeah. So StoryBrand is a tool that you can. It essentially helps you clarify your brand messaging. So clarifying it in one part is to tell an engaging story, because stories engage people and keep people interested and focused. And then the second part is to use everyday language that normal people can understand. And so StoryBrand kind of brings those two worlds together and gives you 7 key talking points that you can use in your marketing, and it will help you tell a story and use fun, everyday language.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you got certified, you got the website design in the background.
Yep.
And then you said, why don't I just create my own business?
Yeah.
What was that like? What headspace were you in, and what was it like taking those first steps?
Yeah, well, it was fun. When you're kind of working in a day job, and then you come home at night and you got this exciting new business, it's almost like a new relationship, It's like flipping awesome.
Yeah, honeymoon period. Because you're always working on it, right?
Yeah.
You're not sleeping at night, and you're always thinking about it. That was my experience. Was that
yeah, it was totally. Yeah, I'm the same. So I was just super excited. Just loved working on my business. And then you get to the point where it starts to turn to a frustration, because then as your business grows and you're still working a day job on the side, you're like, there's this wrestle where what's my priority? And now my priority is going to change from being my day job to my business. And then you got to have some hard conversations and
Right. Yeah. It's kind of I guess in the previous episodes, it's like, it doesn't have that fire under your butt, right? To kind of push yourself and get there, right?
Yeah. So I pretty much started working I dropped a day, that was at the start. So I dropped a day and went down to 4 days a week working for this agency, and then a day a week working on my business, and kind of did that for about a year, and then had to have another conversation where it's like, okay, well, let's do 3 days a week for the agency and 2 days a week for my business. And to be honest, I think that one didn't even last a year. I think that was probably about 6 months of doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was the stress level like?
Stress wasn't too bad at the time. I think what was really stressful was going down from 3 days of the agency to 1 day.
Right.
1 day is like really hard to work for someone else because you feel like you're not there long enough, you can't add enough value. It's pretty hard because part of our roles is we were doing some kind of project management, and so trying to manage a project when you're only there for like, in my case, it was 2 mornings a week.
Right.
Was quite difficult. And so yeah, 1 day and then 4 days in the business, that was a real tension point for a while.
So, no, I guess there's those points where you went from full-time / part-time to 2 days, 3 days, to now, then 1 day, 4 days. Like, what made you make those decisions? Like, what were the, when it came to making those decisions, what pushed you to make those decisions?
Frustration, like the tension of like between these two things. Like I want to give more time to my business. I can't give it the time that it deserves because I'm here. Yeah. I've only got a limited amount of energy, and like I want to give more energy to this.
So when you say that, like, what does lack of energy mean for you? Like, were you not sleeping? Were you like,
I wouldn't say I wasn't that. I sleep really well, by the way. I'm like a rock.
Yeah, right.
But probably just more like, like I just wanted to give it more energy. Like I think during the day, you might have a certain amount of hours that you work your best. And I felt like I was giving my best work to someone else.
Sure.
And I was like, I want to give my business my best work. And so I think that was really the energy tension.
Your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. I guess, okay, well, what's the practical steps that you took to take your business in full time? Did we talk about that already?
Yeah, we kind of covered it.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say, like when I dropped the final conversation I had, it was in beginning of 2020. It was in January. I talked to my boss, Jason, and I just said, hey, look, I'm going to go all into my business. I'm going to start in 3 months' time. So I'm going to start on the 1st of April. I'm going to go all in. And
so you gave yourself a time frame?
I gave myself a time frame, yeah. And I didn't know exactly how it was going to happen, like if the money would be there, I didn't know, but I just knew I had to take that next step. I guess for me as well, faith's a big part of my life, so I felt like God's called me to this, like He's surely not going to let me down. I've just got to take a step of faith and make it happen. And then we all know what happened kind of March time.
COVID.
Yep. The COVID happened, and my boss was like, Joel, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you kind of see where the world's going.
Right.
And I was just like, yeah, I think I know. I think it's going to be okay.
I think it was quite a global phenomena in terms of people starting their own business during COVID.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people resigning because I think a lot of people recognized that there wasn't enough time in life to just work, focus on work.
Yeah.
Have your work facade and then your personal life facade, or kind of. I think that a lot of that is incorporated into why so many people have left to pursue their hobbies and what they're good at, and their own businesses. And
because a lot of the friction is removed as well, like because now you can more easily work with people overseas. Like you could always do it. You could always jump on a Zoom call with someone, but now people are like, oh yeah, Zoom's a way we can do meetings now. Yeah.
I mean, you take on a whole lot of risk factor, right? Starting a business, it's things that you never think about, whether it's rent or when's the next paycheck coming. Those are the scary parts in business, right? I guess if you could just touch on the hard parts of starting business.
Yeah. So I guess one thing I'm lucky in was that I don't have kids that I had to worry about. I mean, at the time I had a relationship with my now wife Hannah, but so that was kind of my only thing I had to worry about. I was still at mum and dad's place just paying board, and so I had a bit of a safety net. It wasn't like if I do this I'm going to lose my house.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was I'm really, really blessed to have had that.
Nothing to lose. Why not pursue it, right?
Yeah, essentially. Well, I've got the safety net now, I might as well make the most of it. Yeah, I guess one of the scariest parts still was around that whole like financial security, especially when you're in a new relationship. You're like, financial security is something that we all want. And so it's for a while, I'm just like, I hope this works because, I don't want to put that burden onto Hannah.
Yeah, I guess can't go out to have a date, go down to Rotorua for a weekend or whatnot.
Yeah, well, I still wanted to do those things, but you don't know. Like, is there going to be enough money in the bank? I'm not sure. I hope there is, especially at the start.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's those sacrifices, right? It is really the sacrifices that you make in order to get to where you are. Any good. I follow basketball, and you always hear about sacrifices that they make, not going to parties, not going to do X, Y, Z, and just training and doing their things. And I guess that's us in business as well.
Yeah.
So that's why we go into businesses and we reap the rewards we reap because we are willing to sacrifice to reap the risky rewards.
And willing to invest in ourselves. Because often, like when you're business and it's just you, that's really what you're doing, is you're just putting money and effort and resources into something that you are fully believing is going to get you a return later on.
Yeah, I mean, I love the story of your business because I know a little bit of it, right? So I've heard that where you've started from, and I see where you are right now. You're starting to take on employees now. Like tell us about that journey. Where are you taking it into the future?
Yeah, so. As much as I love working with myself, like I like having a team. It's like the work and the quality of work that we're putting out now for clients is so much better.
Yeah.
Because there's people to look over my grammatical errors and like just new fresh ideas, stuff that I wouldn't ever think of. Like growing the team is really awesome. I love learning new things about marketing. I love creating content. And sure, I mean, we all want more money. Like, I guess that's all part of why we're in business, to get more levels of freedom too. But yeah, I just love it. I really like the people aspect, inspiring people, whether it's clients to upgrade their marketing and show them a greater potential of where their business could be, or just even with the team, inspiring them with like an exciting vision of where we're going. I think one thing I'll finish on is about like, internally, it's difficult because it was like that mix of like, I'm really confident about going into business. Like I said, I know I'm called to this. I know that business is just in my DNA. But then there was also that uncertainty where you're like, I hope what I'm putting out is good enough. I hope I'm really helping people. Like, people talk a lot about imposter syndrome. Like, they definitely, you do feel that at times.
Yeah.
And so that was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm talking from my experience now, really, but when my first gig was for $50, and that's something I'll charge thousands of dollars for now. Basically because, and I was on that rate for such a long time, just because thinking to myself, I'm not a videographer. I've just been doing this for funsies, and then and trying to tell yourself, you're worth it. You're worth it. That's super hard. I didn't realize how hard it was to kind of take yourself away from your own shoes and go, Mike, you've got this amazing skill set. You've got value to offer businesses. Charge the friggin' rate that you need to charge to live life. Otherwise I have to take on 1,000 jobs to, and which every job takes like 80 hours to do. I'm not sure if that was you to charge the right rates and whatnot. How did you get past that? Yeah,
so I mean, we could probably do a whole episode about charging what you're worth.
Actually, okay, we'll mark that. We'll earmark that. But,
I think. It was pretty helpful. StoryBrand had like a certain minimum price point that we had to charge, so to preserve the premium factor of the product. Sure. So that helped. I think along the way, there's still been things that I've undercharged for. It's been helpful having someone else check over pricing too, like just now having a team. And so
I guess mum and dad was able to help know is this the right market rate, because you don't know market rates until you know market rate, until you're in the market.
Sometimes you just got to put the price out there and put it in the proposal and send it out. And if someone says you're too expensive, or if multiple people tell you you're too expensive, then maybe you are. And if
The thing is, they don't come back to tell you you're too expensive. They just go ghosting.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you don't know if they're ghosting because your services aren't right, or no, they don't see the value, or you are too expensive.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, like I said, we can
definitely an episode here.
we can definitely tap into this. But
Yeah.
I've always found that a really tough thing. But hey, thanks, Burrow. That was awesome hearing a little bit about your life.
Yeah, it's cool just to be able to share it with some people. I hope it's helpful.
Oh, cool. So, how do we finish this?
I don't know. I guess we'll leave it there and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you in a couple of weeks, guys.
Yeah. I love it. Love it, man.
That was good. How long was that?